Hello, everybody. Back again for a very, very special edition of the Walking Dead podcast, talking about the mid-season return. I hate fucking all those titles. I hate saying it. The mid-season return, second cousin removed, whatever. Episode 9, entitled "How to Drag Out."
What happened and what's going on?
What happened? What's going on? AKA
what happened? Who gives a shit?
And how to drag out Tyrese's death. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, I'm Aaron. We got Todd here, Riverman, AKA,
yo.
and Pat.
Howdy, folks.
It was a dramatic death. I mean, I didn't mind it. I'm kind of glad. I'm glad they killed somebody, of course. But man, it was bittersweet because it kicked off. Flash forward, they were already in Virginia. I'm like, awesome. They didn't take half a season just paying tribute to somebody and going to Virginia. I was kind of cool. I'm like, we need to do this more often. Like 10 days later type of thing. But then that lasted about 15 minutes. They didn't really go anywhere with it. And then we spent 25 minutes watching Tyreese die and seeing a whole bunch of flashbacks of returning characters, which I don't know if I want to knock or not. It's like I kind of want to knock it because it sounds like cheap and easy fan service, Like, hey, let's bring back all these fucking...
Well, they brought back Beth like everybody wanted.
They brought back the little girls. They brought back David Morrissey, the governor. They brought back the asshole no one cared about from the cabin.
Bob, nobody cares about.
And it made for a really dramatic scene, but it was just... I was waiting for, like, Pee Wee Herman to come out and fucking Bruce Jenner. It just all... I don't know, just whoever. Like, what are they... What
Shane.
Yeah, Shane, Cher, whatever.
Andrea.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah, exactly. Like, he didn't even know these guys. It's like... It was just...
Dale.
Dale, yeah. I love how they're trying to get artistic with this episode with all the jump cuts and lens flares and all artsy fartsy. It's like, where was this before? This is kind of just out of nowhere. Okay.
I thought it ultimately wound up being kind of clever though what they did with it, but at the same time it was a bit overkill reeking of trying too hard.
It's like they're trying to figure out something new to do. Like,
right. Well, it's like we got a kid who wants to be an indie film director as a PA, and the director didn't show up today. So hey kid, how about you get in the chair, see what you can do? Which I mean, again, I found it a little more clever and entertaining than kind of some of the other straight ahead episodes.
Well, I guess they had to do that with the 45 minutes of Tyreese dying. So.
I was bored. I was absolutely bored to tears for like the first 20 minutes though.
Yes.
Until like they got in the house and like they actually I was like, oh okay, so somebody is going to get attacked by it. We're actually going to see a zombie this episode. Okay, good.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with the good. The good is, I mean, honestly, I liked. We stuck with the Rick. We didn't get too convoluted. We didn't see Shane. We didn't see Carl. I'm glad. Carl really is still not getting any love this season, which is fine by me.
He was holding the baby in the funeral scene.
At the funeral scene. And I'm starting, by the way, speaking of the funeral scene, I'm starting to believe that Father Gabriel's sole purpose for surviving in the show is so he could have been in that procession. I mean, it just literally like we're gonna write this guy in because it'll all fit when he's given the procession. I don't know. I still
we're gonna add a priest. Why? It'll make sense in about 5 episodes. Just work with me on this one.
God, it was it only 5? Jeez.
I don't know. No. Let's see. This is the 9th episode, and he was introduced in the 2nd episode of the season. So 7.
Well, time in the Walking Dead universe is a very funny thing. Because it's like the whole thing. Everybody cared about Beth all of a sudden, but it's like 9 episodes ago, no one gave a shit about Beth,
including Maggie.
Including Maggie. Which, by the way, speaking of Maggie, we're gonna keep playing the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon here. But Maggie, I thought Glenn and Maggie vowed to never separate again. And you know what I'm saying? Remember when they found each other? Like, we'll never leave again. They threw away the fucking picture and the whole thing, and they embraced each other. And then this episode, they're in separate parties. I'm like, I don't get this. I mean, people are
suffering from clinical depression. Or
there's lots of balls to keep up in the air. You can't expect these guys to have story continuity throughout an entire season. I mean, come on. No.
Yeah, but I was going to mention. Yeah, you mentioned the artsy thing. Another thing, there was a lot. This whole episode was based on physical emotions, physical acting, and that ambient soundtrack going on in the background. Not a whole lot of dialogue, and like you said, Glenn's clinical depression. Just that whole scene where it's all quiet in the car, and he's flexing the CD, and then at the end, it's like symbolic. He snaps it like as if he's going to snap. It's the whole fucking thing was like a student movie. And I didn't mind it. I didn't mind some aspects of it, but because I'm a fan of action speaking louder than words. And also, what was another scene? the Tyreese, seeing the pictures of the twin boys, you know, you just knew by the look in his face and then flicking back and forth between the picture and him that it was triggering the little girls thing. You know, they didn't have to say anything, so the whole episode was like that. And I like that because we feel like this show spoon feeds us a lot. They cater to the lowest common denominator, like we talk about a lot, and they hold our hand. And you know, we've commented on. So I'm not going to be that guy that bitches about it when they actually fix it, but. You know, I got it. We're not stupid. You know, they don't have to hold our hands. I got the context of it.
Well, obviously, everybody loves Chris now because they're willing to travel to Virginia just to take him home.
Well, it was for Beth.
Oh, okay, it's for Beth.
It was kind of on the way for DC, which I guess I think ultimately they were all going to wind up going to DC anyways. So
now is that where the Carol group was going? Were they at the farm, or where the hell were they when they were going to Virginia? Rick and the group. Where's Carol?
They were just hanging back a few miles.
I missed that. Yeah, I thought they were just a couple miles away from Hold Up and somewhere. I don't think they ever really elaborated on that.
But yeah, you're right. They're only an hour away or something like that. That's what they mentioned from DC. So it's not that much of a pit stop, and you might as well let little Chris or whatever, little Chris from fucking Boys in the Hood. Little Chris with a pacifier.
Chris.
Let him have his closure and all that stuff. And I don't know. Yeah, why not? But
he's causing back-to-back deaths here with Beth and
I know. See, the
Tyreese.
thing is, we
more
can't
trouble than he's worth.
Yeah.
You don't have that many clean deaths in this series where it's, you know, one and done. It's always somebody's fault and they carry emotional baggage. That was the reason why we had a half an episode of Tyreese dying, because it's the whole thing. You should have killed me. If you didn't kill me, this wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't.
Shit, the beginning of it was Tyree's monologue as to why Chris needs to get over it.
Yeah.
Well, before he died, I was like, Tyreese is becoming Herschel. You know, he's just being this father figure. It's like, I would be, if I was mourning and I was sad, I was depressed that people died, I'd be like, get the fuck off me, Tyreese. Let's back up.
Did you think he was actually going to die after they chopped his arm off? I thought they'd keep him alive, which I was going to be pissed off about.
I would have been absolutely enraged because just the bleeding out alone, he wouldn't even have made it that far. Because they didn't.
Why did they char that thing up?
They didn't attempt to cauterize it. They didn't tie a tourniquet around it. They have it freaking free and swinging in the wind at one point when he falls down. Like, come on now. I mean, even
why wouldn't they torch that thing right away?
Even basic first aid. For fuck's sake, Maggie's dad was a goddamn doctor. Glenn couldn't have picked any fucking thing up. You've made it this far and you don't know how to tie a fucking tourniquet?
I don't know if they had the resources to solderize it, but you'd think they would really look for something like a blowtorch because, like, you know, let's have the stuff on handy.
At the very least, somebody's got a goddamn belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a stick and tie a shirt around it and burn the fucker.
Fire off a few rounds of one of your automatic weapons and put the barrel next to it.
Yeah.
A la John Carpenter's Vampires.
Stick. Did you mention a stick, Todd? It's like, hurry up, he's bleeding out, quick! Take that broomstick and shove it in his ass! What's that gonna do? I don't know, I'm just trying to throw stuff out there. I don't think it's gonna help. It might take his mind off the pain. But I don't know. Kind of lost where I was going with that, but
why they were willing to drive about 10 minutes away just to cauterize it somewhere else?
No, well, you know,
where are they trying to get to?
I don't know.
Yeah, where are they going to go? Back to the base? I don't know. Were they going to be able to help them there? Do they have a blowtorch or, you know, somewhere to cauterize it? I don't know.
Yeah, they're in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's nothing. I mean, other than some random neighborhood that they just happened to find.
Little Chris's old house reminded me of your house, Riverman, growing up.
Really?
Yeah, little blue ranch style home. You know, I don't know. I thought I was going to see a zombie, Rich, naked, walking through your. That's Riverman's dad. Smoking a cigarette. Zombie Rich, naked, smoking in a leather recliner.
Watching Howard Stern.
But like I said, the whole artsy stuff, I didn't mind it. I didn't hate this episode by any stretch. Even though it took half the episode for him to die, the pacing still didn't bother me. I don't know. It was okay. It started off with like a real quick, like I said, they got to Virginia really quick. This is neat. But then they just kind of stayed in that little neighborhood the whole time. So I kind of, it would have been nice if they would have went somewhere else. But
yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great by any means, but I mean, it was like somewhat entertaining.
Yeah. I don't know. I know I have more problems with it, and I'm just kind of drawing blanks because I can't get the image of a broomstick up Tyrese's ass. It literally shook me. What did you not like about it?
Shook you in the pants.
The pacing.
The pacing really drove you crazy?
Yes.
I thought it kind of came and went with that kind of like I said, the first 20 minutes bored me to tears, and then all of a sudden now we're dealing with this. Tyrese gets bitten, and we're trying to deal with the aftermath of that. But then the whole just sequence of him hallucinating and seeing all these, and the whole, it's okay, Tyrese, you can cross over to the other side type fucking Sixth Sense type bullshit.
It's better now. Yeah, I got sick of those little girls saying, it's better now.
We get, again, and it kind of lends itself to beating us over the head with, do you people get the subtlety that we're dealing with? What we're trying to do? What we're trying to do with the symbolism here? They're dead, and they're saying it's okay if Tyrese dies too. Yeah, we get it. Shut the fuck up and be on with it. So, I mean, again, I liked the fact that they kind of got clever and a little indie with it, but at the same time, yet again, I mean, they gave us the Walmart version of it to where, Joe Bob, who lives in the trailer, would be like, oh shit, did you get the foreshadowing in that?
And the fact is they never really got into Tyree's backstory before this, and let's dedicate the whole episode when he dies. It's like, who gives a fuck? By that point, you don't give a shit if he dies.
Well, the thing of it is I was just happy that it wasn't an entire episode of him with monologues and soliloquies just, being, just talking nonstop to
it was running that risk, man, pretty at times I felt, because
oh shit, for when it comes to a mid-season premiere and we're 15 minutes into it and we're sitting there and we got 5 minutes of dialogue out of him, just shut the fuck up.
It goes back to the whole thing in real life. Who would talk like that? We're all in a car together. All of us, three and a couple other people are in a car, and me and Todd are gonna have a heart to heart, and I'm gonna talk like I'm Bill Cosby, pre-rapist Bill Cosby, and you guys in the back are not even there. It's like these guys aren't even in the room. I'm just gonna have this heart to heart. When I was a little boy, my daddy. I'm like, Todd, what the fuck's the matter?
The news.
I'm like, Todd, fucking drive, dude. What the fuck are you doing?
Pepper's Farm remembers. Plus, they've been with each other for the past God knows how many years. They've heard every stupid ass story, every opinion, everything this other person has to say. If either one of you would open your mouth after dealing with you for 3 years, I'd just look at you and be like, you know what? Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. I mean,
what was the whole thing about? We had that moment between Glenn and Rick, and then Michonne, intervenes and says, "Hey, you stop that!" When they're talking all negative, like, whether it was right or wrong, I would have killed her no matter what. What was that all about? They revealed that he noticed it was an accident. She didn't intend to kill her, Beth.
Goodrick's coming back.
But no, he was saying. But am I mistaken? Wasn't he saying, you know what? I wanted to kill her either way.
Whether it was right Rick or say wrong. That? I thought that was Glenn that said that.
I thought Rick and Glenn were on the same page.
I thought Glenn said it didn't matter if I killed her or you killed her, or if that's. I don't understand who's being morally ambiguous in this instance.
That scene was really confusing to me. I didn't know.
No, I agree.
I didn't know what the point either one of them was making. I didn't know if they were arguing, if they were agreeing, or what. All I heard was Rick say, I know it was a mistake. I saw it in her eyes, type of thing. He's like, I wanted her dead either way. I don't know how to take that. But the thing about the show is sometimes the dialogue is really muddled, and I can't understand. Like when the episode first starts, when they're talking, little Chris and Tyreese, dude, I could not understand half of it. They both sound like Assy McGee. You remember that show on Adult Swim?
Well, that in the context of what their conversation, like you think they're talking about one thing, but then all of a sudden, like 3 lines in, you'd be like, wait, what the fuck are they talking about? Because you'd figure that we'd be talking about everybody hates Chris's parents, but all of a sudden we're talking about how Tyreese has to deal with Beth and how Tyreese had to deal with saving Judith and all this shit. You're like, wait, what are we touching upon with this? I'm not quite sure. So what I loved in the scene between Rick and Glenn there is the disparity between the facial hair with
the soul patch.
Andrew Lincoln's beard becoming almost comically huge, and Glenn there,
little Guido stash.
I just want Rick to look at Glenn one point and just look at him like his facial hair and just kind of motion and be like, huh, that's cute.
It took you 4 years for that.
He's Asian. They can't really do much about that.
Yeah. What was the whole thing? Clearly what they were saying was on the negative side, as far as, because you said Goodrick's coming back. I took it the other way. Like, you know what? it's him making those tough calls, or even those maybe not right, but I'm going to do it anyway calls. Because why else would Michonne intervene and say, "Hey, stop that," like it's negative? Because she seems to be the moral compass. Because she found herself again. Remember? Like,
no, it just seems like Rick was being sympathetic for the other girl that killed Beth, because she didn't do it on purpose, like he said. And Glenn said it didn't fucking matter whether she.
That could be just a passing conversation, more or less, to fill time. Hopefully, it is, because if we have to deal with emotional repercussions of how Rick feels remorseful for quote unquote killing an innocent person, then Jesus Christ,
I never even met. Yeah,
I'm just gonna shut the podcast down now, fellas. We're done.
I'm not sure she was innocent. Maybe that was his point too. Like, you know what, she might accidentally kill her, but you know what, that chick put her through. I don't know.
Okay, maybe if we pay attention, we could come up with stuff.
One thing I didn't get was
maybe if they made it easy to pay attention.
What was with those zombies with like all their arms and legs cut off and?
Yeah, that shit was weird. Why? I mean, I know there were
W's on their heads.
Yeah, and they were playing those radio broadcasts of people of group. They said roaming packs of people who were cannibals and mutilating people and setting other people on fire. I mean, I guess I didn't pay too much attention to it because there was a lot going on in those scenes and those montages. So maybe that has something to do with it, why those cars were crashed. But yeah, that was kind of weird how it was all those like half torsos with their heads still attached.
Yeah. Maybe those flashbacks when they were hearing the radio broadcasts were right as the zombie thing was breaking out, and there were still radio airways and stuff. Maybe that, because
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I didn't think it at the time. At the time, he was talking about his dad. You know, we used to listen to the radio, and he said, you know, you have to listen and face it. Listen to the news. I thought those were flashbacks when he was like a kid at first. So, but you're probably right. I didn't even put that together. I don't know. God, what would I talk about if we were all in the car together? You know, when I was a kid, my dad kicked the shit out of me. That's about it. I don't know. I don't know. But those guys, I don't know. One cool thing that bothered me, though, it's probably not a big deal at all, but you know, when they were in the house and he was in the twins' bedroom, and of course he was staring at the pictures, and then he got bit by one of the twins. There was somebody laying on the bed. He said he had didn't he say he had a mom left and two twin brothers?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that was clearly another woman on the bed. I don't know who that was, because the mom was in the living room. And then he looked down the hall, and in a bedroom, you saw, like, the feet under the doors. I thought maybe, like, that was the twins or something. They sounded like kids. I don't know. But, okay, so where'd that little kid come from? He didn't open the door by himself. Like, there was no – I didn't see where the hell that thing came from. And did little Chris not want to see – he wanted all this closure. He didn't want to see – I don't know. There's just things left unsaid there. Who was in that room? Was that his brother? I don't know.
We're gonna we'll make our head spin if we just keep going at that stuff. Again, story continuity. What? No, thank you. Just shut up and be happy that we have zombies on primetime.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We got it gave us a little bit of everything. We did get zombies. We did get some decent. We had the little slow-mo artsy scene where Rick's like firing a shot. First of all, he's got a hand cannon and he missed the head about a foot away. You notice that?
He's Jesus Christ. He couldn't hit water if he fell out of a fucking boat.
Did you notice that though? It was like slow motion. He turns around, hits it in the chest, then he gets in the head the second time, and clearly it's just for the sake of some slow motion. Let's take advantage of the slow motion blood fly we're gonna have here. But yeah, it's like the guy's got a hand cannon.
If they could have, they would have broadcasted in a fucking movie theater and made it 3D and charged you $13 to see it just for that one scene.
Exactly. It's but you got a little bit of everything. So let's go straight to predictions, and then we'll go into ratings. I did watch the next time on Walking Dead, but you know what? I don't really think I made heads or tails of it.
No, I didn't.
You didn't really. Yeah, you couldn't really assimilate too terribly much from it.
What do you think is going to happen then?
I think we're going to have an episode of resting. I don't think we're going to keep running around. But at the same time, it looks like they're kind of walking. It looks like they're walking to somewhere. So I don't know if there's really going to be too much of an encounter with any type of villain. It might be, again, a little more type of existential and kind of dealing with each other more than anything. And maybe just kind of dealing with the elements of being out in the hot southern summer, which I think that's what we're still dealing with. God only knows, because until we get a little further north, the seasons all just kind of run together. So I think we're just kind of going to wander around. Pretty much going to be Lord of the Rings for the next couple episodes.
I hope that's not what they're going to resort to. You know, they face the heat. Can they survive this 120-degree day?
I think though, from the very first beginning, the beginning of this season, I think they've tried to put a lot of action into it, where stuff they think is actually happening. And they haven't had too many character episodes like this one where Tyreese has a problem. On a very special episode, Maggie needs to bitch about her sister dying 3 months ago. So I think I just got to think, especially because you get this first episode where, some stuff does happen and we kill the character. So now everybody's got to deal with the fact that we killed the main character.
I am stoked for the simple fact that right now, because Beth's dead, yada, 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 there's no loose ends. Nobody's, captured somewhere. All the group's together. Nobody's split up for the time being. They don't have to go looking for Beth's or anybody. They're all together, and they all should have one common goal, and that's to go to Washington, D.C.
Why?
So I'm waiting to see.
Wants to go?
I just want to see them stay on the group. I'm tired of the dragged out seasons because we're having all these different perspectives going on. I don't like it. I'm glad that they're all together, and let's see if it lasts. I'm waiting to see that they're going to get split up in this episode. Somewhere in this next episode, okay, we're going to go. I'm like, motherfucker.
Aaron would really hate fucking Game of Thrones because those motherfuckers split. Those motherfuckers get split up 8 episodes into the first season, and they're still not back together, and half of them are dead.
But are they at least bouncing around and editing the episodes properly where we can kind of follow everybody?
Oh yeah, the way they can have multiple storylines going makes The Walking Dead writers look like kindergartners with crayons.
I agree.
That's my biggest issue with it is they don't do that. It's like, you know what? They split up. We're gonna have one episode with just Seamus sitting outside of a bus, hallucinating about stuff, and then we're gonna have
Game of Thrones makes Walking Dead looks like a room full of monkeys with typewriters. Seriously.
So I don't have an opinion on what the next episode's gonna be. I can just say that I hope that they don't split up. I hope whatever it is they're doing. Even if they're just trying to fight the heat, at least they're just all going in the same direction, and we get a little progression for God's sake. That's all I want.
One thing they should do in this future episodes, they should go back to Woodbury, and they should rebuild, which they should have done a year ago.
Well, they could have. Michonne touched on it where they were just this last point with. Where that kid everybody hates Chris is from. So
yeah, but that wasn't really protected. Woodbury was like a fortress. There's only one way in, one way out. So
right.
No, there's nobody there, so might as well take it back.
Huh?
What else are they gonna fucking do? Go to Virginia and do nothing?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but they're looking for a real end game. Because Woodbury's not an end game. It's just like the prison. It might last. You never know how long that's gonna last.
But there is no end game.
They'll eventually run out of supplies. They're looking the whole DC thing was. I know it turned out to be a little bit of a ruse, but I think there's still that hope that there's an end game. There's a cure, something. They're just looking for something like that. There could be a big colony, a la I Am Legend or something.
Rick should turn into a cannibal. That'd be sweet.
That would be really weird.
He's already been halfway there, biting motherfuckers' throats out.
They can all take a piece of what's his name, Einstein.
What?
Who's that nerd? That Eugene.
Oh,
yeah.
Eugene.
Yeah.
He does look like a stuck pig, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He does.
But whatever. Let's go into rate. He looks like a Captain Planet villain, is what he looks like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Fucking. But the pig guy, whatever.
Yeah, but he was all yellow and wore a Hawaiian shirt.
What's your rating, Pat?
I'm gonna go with a 5. This episode was just there. It was just, I don't know. I especially because I understand this is a mid-season episode, so you really can't expect fireworks out of a mid-season episode when it comes to any series. But when AMC and the producers of the show are going to absolutely insist on this method of presentation of the season, you kind of got to give us a little more than that, which, you killed the main character. Yeah, you kind of did this different departure from the episodes of past. But at the same time, we're still just kind of spinning our wheels we're having pacing issues, and, it was just kind of blasé, really, to me. I guess I was entertained, but I'd be hard pressed to pick out any specific points. So,
River.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a little higher. I'm gonna give it a 6.
See, that's what I was gonna give it.
Just because of the death of Tyree.
Tyree.
Is that who that was?
Tyreese.
Oh, Tyreese. Whatever. I'm thinking about the rapper or the R&B artist.
His name's Tyreese also, asshole.
No, but just like we were talking about the pacing of it, and just the fact that this show has no direction right now. It's like they're in one giant sandbox video game and they don't know what to fucking do. It's like Grand Theft Auto. I mean,
it's like Minecraft. You're just doing stuff just to do stuff,
and that doesn't entertain me. I kind of want just a hint of an end game.
Yeah. Well, maybe we do have that hint with DC. I hope it can't go on that much longer. For God's sakes. I mean, like I said, there has to be something. But I'm gonna give it a 6-2, and I'm gonna give it credit for trying something new. I did like the artsy thing in certain places. The only thing I didn't like about it was the whole, it dragged out Tyrese's death. You know, it does kind of push it a little bit. Like, is it clever? Is it artistic? Or does it cross that line of being corny?
It's kind of comical, if you ask me.
It got a little close to that. I'd say the scene where, like I said, he broke the CD. That was a little cheesy.
Again, they could have rested on the subtlety, but in typical Walking Dead fashion, subtle as a sledgehammer.
Yeah.
So they just had to beat it to death with how many different scenes of hallucinations and hearing. It's okay, Tyree. It's okay, Tyree. Like.
Never mind that we've been through puberty since we died,
or that we've all seen Poltergeist and we know what's going on at this point. Whenever it's by the second time that the girl said it, it's okay, Tyree. It's so much better over here. We got the fucking point.
Hope to God we don't have to hear Beth sing anymore too.
That drove me crazy. I'm like, one more excuse to get Beth singing in there. I didn't understand it. Did Tyreese ever hear her sing, for God's sakes?
Who fucking knows?
I think she actually only sang in 2 episodes. That one episode with Daryl, and then one other episode.
The campfire, Daryl, and she sang in one episode when they were in the prison before Tyreese. That was when Tyreese was still on the other end.
Yeah.
Governor, I don't know. I'm not going to go back and check my facts. I'm not going to, but. It was just...
He didn't earn his keep.
It was really... Yeah, he didn't earn his keep. We heard him say that 5 million times. But whatever. I'm going to give it credit. I appreciated that it started out, already in Virginia. Like, literally, they could have started from the moment Daryl was walking out of the hospital with the body, and they didn't, thank God. So I would have killed myself if that was the case. So, yeah, I'll give it a 6. It was just kind of okay. Yeah, I wouldn't... When I think of a 5, I think of some of those episodes we had. The last couple were like we were in the prison. It was just kind of Beth walking around, and those were 5s to me. This is a 6. Whatever. We got a little violence.
Yeah, we did.
But I don't know. What does everybody else think out there? Some of you guys can be pretty opinionated. I don't know if you guys check the comments sometimes, but
I'll have to.
Some people are pretty opinionated, and sometimes you're pretty opinionated on us too. And I know it sounds like we're haters. Yeah, I get it. Like, I've gotten a couple of comments in regard of, why you guys do a podcast about a show that you seemingly hate, and I don't hate it because it started out with me liking it.
The first 3 seasons were fucking great.
I started feeling the exhaustion in season 3 towards parts, but I don't know. I don't know. Is it kind of go towards that whole angle of you don't hate something you don't love deep down somewhere, or it started out great. It's the same reason why people bash, their favorite bands that started out cool and turned into shit. I don't know.
It's funny because we talked about it. They're going for the lowest common denominator now. The writing is. And we've went over this numerous times. So then they ask why we don't like it, why we still watch it. Well, maybe we have a little bit of hope that they're actually going to show us something good.
And we just expect a little more out of these people that are making 6 figures to write this shit.
Especially when they started off so solid.
So, I mean, well, we've already mentioned this. They've changed showrunners a bajillion times. And I guess that means Frank Darabont's slate is clean because, his era was the good era. I don't know. But whatever, that's why we do it. We do it because it's fun to talk about. It's fun to argue. It's fun to hate stuff. We were actually talking about Jimmy Fallon before we started the podcast. I'm sorry. Do you guys all want a bunch of Jimmy Fallons up here just saying, oh, it's fucking great. Oh, it's so good. It's the best. No, that's not fun at all.
We're not talking dead.
And we're not trying to
oh God, what a ditch! And if you don't like it, shut the fuck up and get your own podcast.
Yes.
Preferably in a perfect world, we'd all have very, very different opinions. But that's not our fault. Yeah, I'd like it to be more of an argumentative thing, but it's not our fault. It's the show's fault. If you noticed in the last season, guys, I think it's been about the last season. All of our scores have been about the same number or a number apart. I think the show has a problem. I mean, I'm not an elitist, because if you guys want to go back to the archives, season 3-ish, me and Todd butted heads all the time. It was a little bit more divided. Now it's starting to become a blurred line. Now we're kind of all on the same page now, and I just think, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, keep it coming. Let us know how much you hate Riverman. I always enjoy that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
And you guys all have a good night. And don't forget to chime in on btmreview.com, where you can find reviews and interviews and all that cool stuff. And, of course, the YouTube channel and iTunes and yada, 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 Facebooks and Twitter. I'm Aaron.
Riverman.
Pat.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night, Canada.